to UC Today. I'm Tom Wright, and I'm delighted to be joined by Michelle from Jabra. How's it going, Michelle?
Great, Tom. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And we're going to be talking about hybrid working for this video, and it's, I guess, the big trend at the start of this year. And I wonder if to start with, you could talk us through or set the scene for how hybrid work is looking at the moment among the customers that you speak to at Jabra.
Absolutely. So we know hybrid working, and really what that is a concept of splitting time between working at home or at an office or even from a third different location that really got fast tracked due to the pandemic. And even 2 years later, we're still seeing a lot of uncertainty in organizations in their return to office plans. And even with just the newest variant, a lot of return to office plans had to be shifted out and delayed. But what has really remained consistent is that moving forward, organizations and employees alike really envision this hybrid working to remain. From our Jabra insights, we know that about 68% of employees state their ideal work week includes a mix of working from home or office. And on the flip side of that, 90% of executives are planning hybrid models with their return to office plans.
Yeah, and as you said, the pandemic has been one of the big challenges in terms of getting ready for hybrid working, and I suppose wondering when it's really going to be here. I just wonder if you could touch on some of the other challenges that businesses are facing as they're preparing for that.
Yeah, from a business perspective, I think the biggest challenge is really the uncertainty. Just trying to come up with a plan, but every time it gets close, seems to get shifted a bit. So uncertainty is definitely one of the biggest challenges. But if we look at it further, the spacing, the real estate environment of what an office setting used to be is not really what it needs to be as we plan this hybrid working. So organizations are going to have to look to possibly restructure their spaces. An individual desk is not really necessary, and it'll be more about turning those open spaces into collaboration spaces. I think one of the other pain points that organizations are facing from a business perspective is just having a seamless transition. So if I am one of those hybrid employees, making sure that I'm not going into the office and spending time looking for an area to be able to connect, and that I have the right supplies to do my job if I'm at home, if I'm in the office, or from a third place. And more importantly, even with the lack of supplies, it's the right supplies, making sure that the tools and the technologies I have are working properly and keep me engaged and productive.
Yeah, and we all talk a lot about the organization, but it's interesting to look at the individual user as well. There were lots of challenges for users when they had to go remote working with not much notice. What kind of challenges do you see them having at the moment, and looking forward to when they might be working from all over the place?
Yes, absolutely. And Tom, I think you're right. The biggest one is just about supplies and having the right tools to stay connected. I'll speak to some of the specifics of our products and how we help with that, but also just digital fatigue. We're all spending a lot more time in front of our screens. There's really that blur between, work life and home life. So how do we make these interactions, one, more engaging, but also just productive? I think the last thing a lot of us want and organizations want is their employees to not be able to hear or be heard. So, being able to provide great audio quality so that way all your connections are interactive and you're not having to repeat yourself or worried about connections or even noise interruptions. And then from a long-term perspective, a lot of employees are worried about just how their careers will progress and their access to resources and opportunities long term. If an organization has employees working from home, will they still have that equitable access to their resources and opportunities?
Yeah, I think that's a good time to kind of look at Jabra's overall portfolio. You've got devices right across the board. What kind of types of devices are you seeing really in demand as businesses are getting ready for this next stage?
Over the last 2 years, just based on that rise in use of UC platforms, Teams, Zoom, which have allowed people to stay productive, connected, and engaged, we've really seen an increase in demand for headsets that provide superior call quality, are comfortable and durable for all day use, and have features for concentration. So, Tom, when the pandemic first began, employees sort of started just using what they had available, laptop audio or even a consumer grade device that maybe was a stipend or something they had with them. But as we know that hybrid is here to stay, organizations and employees alike are understanding the need, but also even the benefits of using a professional and a certified device. So what that means is that the headset provides open office microphones, so it blocks out any noise. And it's also certified with those leading UC platforms. And that offers seamless connection and interaction with those platforms to just make it a more seamless interaction. So if we look at specific Jabra products, our Evolve 2 headsets have really become the new standard for office workers. And the Evolve 2 has really just raised the bar in all the parameters that we know pain points office workers are facing. And that's really tied to being able to concentrate, collaborate, and have flexibility. And with this new hybrid working environment, we understand that the pains of working in an office might be different than those of working from home or in a noisy environment. So that's really where the newest Evolve 275, that's our latest model within the Evolve 2 lineup. It's really designed specifically with the hybrid worker in mind, and it's truly our flexibility hero.
So you touched on a few of the features there, and I think it's fantastic that users have so much choice out there in the market. But I just wonder if you could highlight a few really specific features that you think are going to be crucial to enabling hybrid work and helping workers get through that.
Absolutely. So the Evolve 275 is really the latest model within the Evolve 2 lineup, and it was specifically designed with the hybrid worker in mind. It's our true flexibility hero. And if we speak to some of those specific features, it's really offering that improved and advanced adjustable ANC, being able to block out your environment if you're in a noisy area. And we actually have up to 11 adjustable feature settings, so you can block out just as much or as little of your environment as you want. And also important to that is the hear through. So if you are wearing your headset and you do want to interact with your environment, with a simple touch of a button, you could press that hear through and then you are able to interact with people or your outside environment. Also, we evaluated the materials that we're using. We have included the dual foam technology, which is a first for Jabra within our Evolve 2 lineup, and that is combining two different types of materials that not only blocks out different frequencies to help with passive noise cancellation, but also helps in the ability, since we are wearing these all day, for comfort and pressure on different parts of your ear. And in just terms of flexibility and connectivity, being able to connect these to dual devices, you have a Link 380, which is your USB link for your PC, but also being able to connect this to your mobile phone to be able to connect to different devices if you're using them in different environments. And then going back to that office environment, the Evolve 275 has the boom arm, which is 33% shorter than the previous model. And using it with the boom arm down is what we call performance mode. It enacts that premium open office microphones to block out any noise. But we have the ability to continue using it in what we call discrete mode. So you'd flip the boom arm up, which typically mutes your call. But then with a simple click of a button, you can press it and continue to use the ear cut microphones that still allow for premium quality sound. So I'll do that now, Tom, so you can kind of get a feeling for how that sounds. So what you would do is flip it up and it would mute. You'd press the button and then you continue to have great quality calls without having the boom arm down in more of a discrete format. We've also improved the battery life and just in range in general, being able to get up and move around and still stay connected to your PC. And then from a concentration perspective, we've improved our busy light. It's a 360-degree busy light, so anybody around you would know if you don't want to be disturbed at that time or if you're on a call and can't be disturbed. So that's just a summary of some of the features we've included, just really trying to understand how office workers are going to be using these in different environments.
Okay, and I've just got one more question for you, Michelle, and I suppose this is the hard one. I wonder if you could talk us through how you think the hybrid working might develop over the course of this year and how we can see maybe any announcements from Jabra or any actions from Jabra to keep catering for end users.
Yeah, I think 2022 will continue to be a year where organizations are developing and fine-tuning their return to office plans. And while we know audio is critical to remaining productive and engaged, we've also seen video. It's become an important technology that companies are relying on to be able to connect their teams, allow them to remain productive as workforces continue to be more distributed across different locations and time zones. So in 2021, Jabra introduced the Panicast 50, our intelligent video bar, which offers 180-degree fields of view in panoramic 4K. This is perfect for seeing everyone in a small to medium conference room. And we also introduced our Panicast 20, our intelligent AI-enabled personal video conferencing device. So having the ability to provide premium solutions for organizations' video and audio needs is really going to meet those goals and the needs of organizations into 2022.
Okay, Michelle, it's been great to have you on. Thanks so much for joining us, and I hope we can speak throughout the year.
Likewise, Todd, thanks again for having me.
And thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.